Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN TV studios. Rick Olson here, and we're getting ready to bring you tonight's boys Dun St. Croix Conference game pitting the Colfax Vikings against the Elk Mound Mounders. The 5-5 Vikings are looking to get back into action after COVID shut down both the boys and girls teams for a total of 4 games last week. Now, prior to that, the Vikings are coming off an 80-49 win over the Strum Cardinals back on January 10th. The Mounders have an 8-5 overall record and are 3-2 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. They're coming off a 67-33 victory over the Boyceville Bulldogs last Thursday. Coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Elk Mound Mounders and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV, and Viking TV.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's boys basketball game between the Elk Mound Mounders and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are somewhat frustrated with the season's interruption due to COVID-19, as they were looking to keep things headed down the right path and continue their winning streak following their 80-49 win over the Strum Cardinals back on January 10th. Now, in that victory over Strum, the Vikings were led in scoring by 5'8" sophomore Elijah Ensminger, who hit 7 of 11 field goals and a three-pointer for 17 points. He was followed by Nathan Hajdukovic, who drained 5 field goals and a three-pointer for 13 points. Jack Charlo added 11, while Ryan Albright and Tristan Lenz each contributed 10 points. Thus far on the season, the Vikings are led in scoring by Hajdukovic, who's averaging nearly 14 points per game. Following Hajdukovic is Ensminger, who's adding 12 points per game. Jack Charlo is contributing over 9, while Ryan Albright and Bryce Sikora chip in 8 and 7, respectively. The leading rebounders for the Vikings, Tristan Lenz, who's pulling down 7 rebounds per game, while Charlo and Hajdukovic are grabbing 6 and 5, respectively. Elk Mound is coming off a 67-33 win over the Boyceville Bulldogs last Thursday. Leading the way for the Mounders in that game was 6'3" sophomore Caden Russo. He hit 3 out of 8 field goals, 3 out of 5 from behind the three-point arc, and 4 out of 8 from the free throw line, for a total of 19 points. Russo was followed by Sam Wenzel, who hit 3 field goals and 6 free throws for a total of 12 points, along with Aiden Bartholomew, who added 10 points. Thus far on the season, the Mounders are led by Russo, who's averaging over 17 points per game. He's followed by Ryan Bartig and Wenzel, who averaged 10 and 9 points, respectively. On the boards, Elk Mound is led by Russo, who's pulling down nearly 6 boards per game. Brex Todd is also an effective rebounder for the Mounders, grabbing over 4 rebounds per game. The Vikings were on a roll, winning 3 games in a row when COVID struck and caused postponement of a couple of games. Still, however, the Vikings would like to extend their winning streak to 4 games, which would keep them right in the thick of the conference race. Meanwhile, the Mounders, who are currently 3-2 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, are looking to keep pace with the conference race leaders. Currently, the Vikings are averaging 57 points per game while giving up an average of 61. The Mounders are scoring an average of 61 points per game while giving up 51. Now, coming up next, right after this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Vikings head coach Mark Knoll on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV and Viking TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV by calling 715-563-1749.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Mark Knoll, the Colfax Vikings boys basketball coach on Coach's Corner. And Coach, last week was sort of a lost week for the Vikings with COVID grounding the team for a couple of games. But this wasn't like a vacation where you can still have regular practices. How did the Vikings deal with the COVID layoff?
Well, we just tried to keep doing what we could do with who was able to come to practice. So we continued to practice, but we just had real limited numbers on who could be there. And we just did what we could and to stay active. Tonight, hopefully, yesterday we'll have a lot more people here at practice, and we'll get a feel for how ready we are to play.
Now, are you at all concerned about the boys needing to knock off some rust after this layoff?
Well, I think ultimately what kind of stinks, if you want to say, is that we had won 3 games in a row, starting to find a rhythm, starting to play well. Now we've had a break for a week. But what said, you know what, maybe we needed a break too. So at the same, it is what it is. We live in this new world now where things like this happen. We have to adjust, and now we get to play Elk Mound.
Okay, and prior to the COVID layoff, one of the things that both Ann and I noticed was the balanced scoring the Vikings had demonstrated, especially in the game against Oliva Strum, where you had 10 players scoring and 5 players hitting double digits. I would think that a balanced attack like that would give opposing coaches headaches. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, anytime you can have a balanced scoring, it's a better attack than having 1 or 2 guys do all your scoring. Now sometimes you'll have that. Sometimes you'll have a guy or 2 that will just have really good games, and that's okay. But ultimately, we do want to have balanced scoring. The fact, because now they don't know who to stop. We do have, I believe, 7 players this year that have scored 10 points or more in a game, and the 8th player that scored 8 points. So that's pretty good.
Now, today the Vikings are going to jump right back into action and right into the Dun St. Croix Conference play as they take on the 8-5, 3-2 in conference play, the Elk Mound Mounders, who are currently only a half game ahead of the Vikings in the conference race. What can you tell us about the Mounders?
Well, they're a very nice team. They're kind of a young team, and when I say young, they don't have a lot of seniors. I think they have 2 seniors, I believe. So they're kind of a young team. But they've got, Russo being they're probably their best player, averaging right around 16, 17 points a game. A very good player. They're going to play most likely a 1-3-1 defense against us. So it's something that we have to be ready to be able to attack and play well against. They're a team that has a lot of kids that score too. I would say in their top 8, all those kids are averaging 5 points or more a game.
Now, currently, Vikings are only a game out of second place. And I know it's early in the season as far as you still got a bunch of conference games left to go. But a win tonight
would leave them right in the thick of the battle for the conference title. Now, how does that compare to what you had envisioned the Vikings doing this year, and how are the boys reacting to the situation?
I think overall, just in general, I think the boys are, I don't want to say they're not, I know they're not satisfied, but we're pleased to be 5-5 overall, like, including non-conference games. And because we had started out, 2-5. So then we won our last 3 to get back to 5-5. So they were pretty excited about that. Our goal ultimately is to play the best basketball that we can play at the end of the year. One of our goals is to be in the top 4 in the conference. This is a game that can help us get into that top 4. But, I think every single game that we play is a game that can be, is one of those kind of games. Just like we saw where Glenwood City boys beat Mondovi the other night. So teams are starting to be able to, beat each other, which is a good thing in the conference. It's a tough conference. Got to be ready to play. This is a great game in the fact that it's kind of a rival game, a team that's 8-10 miles down the road in Elk Mound. But it'll be a fun game.
Well, and as you just alluded to, it's a rivalry game, and with rivalry games, you can pretty much throw the record books out the window and just let those guys go out and play some ball.
Yeah, I mean it should be a fun game, but yes, not having a game for a week, I think does hurt us a little bit, but it is what it is, and I think our kids are going to be ready to get back on that court and start playing some basketball.
Well, Coach Noel, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully by the end of the game, people will say, what break did they have? They're just continue to roll along.
Yeah, there you go. Hopefully. Thank you for doing this, and go Vikings.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Meet the Scam, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescam.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Vikings are looking to get back into action following the COVID-forced break and stretch their winning streak to 4 games, which would keep them in the thick of the Dunn-St. Croix Conference race. At the same time, the Mounders are looking to keep pace with the conference-leading Durand Panthers. So the stage is set for some exciting high school boys basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Now in just a moment, we'll send it over to Colfax High School, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's Dunn-St. Croix Conference boys game between the Colfax Vikings and the Elk Mound Mounders. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV, and Viking TV.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. I'm gonna need that back. No. Kevin!
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Light Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Lenz with the rebound, puts it up and in. Christian Lenz gets the putback shot.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking boys varsity basketball game.
And it's no good. Rebound taken down and put up and in. Ryan Albright with the rebound.
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Inside, gives it off to Hoffman. Hoffman feeds underneath. The shot goes up and in by Nathan Hajdukovic.
Good cut there by Nate.
Good evening and welcome to Colfax High School, where tonight the 5-5 Vikings, who are 2-2 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, are taking on the 8-5 Elk Mound Mounders, who are 3-2 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. And they, in addition to being close in the standings, are basically crosstown rivals, just a few miles down the road from each other.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen this many people in the gym.
And we're coming up to the national anthem. That voice you heard was Dan Petchow, Jeff Gust on the camera. And we're getting ready to bring you tonight's national anthem and then starting lineups.
Would everyone please remain standing if able? Remove your hats and place your hand over your heart to honor the flag. As the national anthem is sung by Colfax High School students Jordan Johnson and Elena Smith.
Jordan Johnson and Elena Smith with our national anthem. And we'll send it right back down to the scores table for tonight's starting lineups.
Basketball matchup between the Elk Mound Mounders and your Colfax Vikings. Introducing the starters for the Mounders. At forward, 6'3" sophomore number 1, Nick Russo. At forward, 6'4" senior number 2, Ethan Johnson. At 5'10" junior number 3, Ryan Martin. At guard, 6' senior number 12, Brett Scott. And at forward, 6'6" sophomore number 15, Sandra Wenzel. Mounders are led by head coach Michael Kessler. And now the starting lineup for your Colfax Vikings.
So there's the starting lineups for tonight's game. For the Mounders, we have Russo, Johnson, Bartig, Todd, and Wenzel. Jumping center is Wenzel. And for the Vikings, Hajdukovic, Sikora, Ensminger, Charlo, and Albright. and Hajdukovic jumping center for the Vikings. And we're getting ready to get this one started. This is a pretty big game for both teams. Vikings trying to stay relevant and get right into the teeth of the conference race. A win tonight would put them right there. Ball goes up. It's controlled by the Mounders. Feeding it down to Russo, who lays it up and in. 2-0, Mounders on top. Vikings bring it down the floor. They get it over to the left side to Hajdukovic. Back out high to Sikora. Over to the right side to Ensminger. Ensminger tries to feed it across the lane. It gets tapped loose, and the Mounders come away with it. Bartig on the dribble on the right side. Gets it over to Johnson, then down to Russo. Back to Johnson. Johnson double team down in the corner. Feeds it out high to Todd, and then over to Bartig. Puts the shot up, no good. Pass across to Wenzel. Puts the shot up and in. Banked it off the glass, and in it went. Down the floor come the Vikings. Sikora with it. Feeds it to the free throw line to Charlo. Now they get it down into the right corner to Ensminger. Out to Hajdukovic. Back into the lane to Charlo. Into the left corner to Albright. Puts up the three. No good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. Quickly down the floor they come. This is Johnson. Feeds it underneath to Wenzel. Wenzel in the lane. Turns. Tries to put it up. That foul. Basket counts. Foul on Hajdukovic.
Yeah, it's not easy for Elk Mound in the baseline, but good job by Wenzel to go up with that.
6-0. And the free throw is off the iron, no good. And the Vikings come down the floor. 16:43, we're just underway. Over to the right side, Sikora tries to feed it to the free throw line, but Charlo was going the other way. Coming down the floor with the layup is no good. Feeding it down to Ensminger. He gets caught up too, but puts the shot up. It's no good. Rebound battled and taken away by the Mounders. Russo with it. Gets it out to the top of the key to Bartig. Over to Wenzel. To Todd. Underneath to Johnson. And puts it up no good. Wenzel with the rebound. Puts it up and it crawls over the iron.
Quick 6 points by Sam Wenzel.
8-0, Mounders are on top. Albright with it, cross-court pass. Out to Hajdukovic, drives the lane, ball gets knocked loose. Here come the Mounders. Todd with it, over to Russo on the left side. He gets it out between the circles to Bartig. Bartig over to the right side, that's Todd. Back over to the left side to Bartig, and the ball gets knocked loose underneath. Mounders come away with it. Wenzel loses the handle. They get it over to Bartig. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound put up, and we have a whistle and a foul, and the basket's going to count. Todd with the basket. Foul's on Albright. It's his first. Second team foul on the Vikings.
Yeah, we were just talking about this beginning of the game that
we have a timeout on the floor. With a timeout on the floor, you're tuned to Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380. And Dan, you were just about to say something before we had to break for that ad.
Yeah. We'll let him shoot his free throw here.
It's up and no good.
I'll get it on the next break.
Vikings come down across the timeline. Hajdukovic with it, high, wide, and right. Gets it over to Sikora on the left side. Picks up his dribble. Gets it back over to Hajdukovic on the right. Back over to the left to Sikora. Sikora takes it into the lane, goes up, puts it in the hole. Bryce Sikora takes the cover off the rim for the Vikings. Down the floor come the Mounders. Russo with it, feeds it underneath the Todd. They get it back out to Johnson on the left side. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by Russo, puts it back up and in. Vikings have it on the, well, now it's taken away by the Mounders. Down the floor comes Russo. We're going to get a foul on Sikora.
Yeah, what I was going to say is we were talking about that Colfax has had some time off, and definitely can tell they're a little winded here at the beginning.
Yeah, in fact, it's been 8 days. First shot by Russo is good. 8 days since the Vikings last played. This was one of the concerns that Coach Knoll had. Second shot, rims around, no good. Lenz with the rebound for the Vikings. Nick Jensen into the lineup. Players nicknamed today's game Farmer Nick Day. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Lenz with the rebound, goes back up. He got fouled on the way up. He got fouled by Todd. Tristan Lenz will go to the line.
Yeah, good job by Lenz to get to the baseline and get the foul.
First shot on the way, no good. Came up pretty short. It did scratch the rim. Albright back into the lineup, giving Ensminger a bit of a break. Second shot on the way. That's off the back of the iron. He overcompensated for it. So down the floor come the Mounders. This is Bartholomew with it. Feeds it over to the left side to Todd. Then underneath to Johnson. Johnson double teamed at the baseline. Gets it back out to Todd. To Wenzel. To Johnson on the baseline. Kicks it out to Bartholomew. Three-pointer on the way and in. Vikings coming down the floor. Hajdukovic with it. Feeds it over to Sikora on the left. Back over to Hajdukovic on the right. Down into the right corner to Albright. Back out to Hajdukovic. Thinks about penetrating, but kicks it out to Sikora. To Jensen at the free throw line. Over to Albright. Back out to Hajdukovic. Vikings being very deliberate and careful. Lenz with it down in the left corner. Back out high to Sikora. Drives down the left side. Gets it out to Lenz. Tries the left baseline. Turns. Feeds it out. Jensen loses the handle, but he chases it down. Gets it out to Albright. Albright puts up a three. No good after bouncing off the rim twice. And the Mounders come down the floor. Bartholomew with it. Feeds it to Wenzel. Gets it out to Todd on the left side. To Johnson on the left baseline underneath the Wenzel. Lays it up and in. 18-2. Down the floor come the Vikings. Down into the corner to Albright. Pass into Lenz. Gets knocked out of bounds. And the Vikings will have it.
Yeah, it's going to be important for Coach Knoll to rotate his players in. They're going to be a little fatigued here.
Ball comes into Hajdukovic, puts a shot up from the paint, and he got it. 18-4.
Colfax goes full court press.
Russo to Bartholomew. Over to Johnson. Back to Russo. To the middle of the court to Delikowski. To Bartholomew. Ball gets knocked away, but chased down by Delikowski. Then he feeds it over to the right side. To Russo hits the three. 21-4. Russo has 8 points already. Albright with it. Tries to pass it across the court, but it's stolen by Russo. Feeds it down into the left corner, back out to Russo on the wing. Lost the handle, but chased it down. Todd has it now on the left wing to Johnson, back out high to Russo. And he hit the three-pointer.
Caden Russo with the hot
And we
hand.
have a timeout being called by the Vikings. 24-4, 11:19 to go, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV and Viking TV.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings. Back here at Colfax High School, Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, Jeff Gust on the camera. Vikings trailing. They've dug a hole. 24-4 with 11:19 to go in the first half to the Elk Mound Mounders.
Elk
Ball
Mound
comes
goes
into Albright.
Elk Mound goes full court press.
Ensminger has it in the forecourt now. On the right side, gets it out to Charlo on the left. Over to Hajdukovic, high, wide, and right. He's double teamed. Back over to Charlo, down into the corner. Albright with a three, off the iron, no good. And stepping on the baseline is Russo, and the Vikings will get the ball back.
Yeah, good job by Charlo there to not give him any room. You only had one way out.
Hajdukovic looking for somewhere to go, finally gets it in. Ensminger high, wide, and right. Hajdukovic on the left. Tries to pass it, gets knocked right back into his hands. Albright has it, cross-court pass over to Ensminger. Tries the right baseline, puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders, by Bartholomew. Down the floor comes Bartig. Feeds it over to the right side to Russo, back to Bartholomew. Back over to Russo from the right wing. Three-pointer on the way. It bounced off the iron and through. Sometimes you're going to get him to drop like that. Ensminger with it. Over to Hajdukovic. Back over to Ensminger on the right side. Down to the right wing now to Albright. Back out to Ensminger between the circles. And we're going to get a blocking foul as Hajdukovic got the ball and tried to drive. And I think we got a foul on Bartholomew. His first personal, second team foul. Todd back into the lineup for the Mounders, giving Johnson a break. Albright inbounds it to Hajdukovic. Ensminger has it, high, wide, and right, over to Albright. Gets it to Hajdukovic from the free throw line. Shot is no good. Ensminger chasing it, but it gets knocked out of bounds. And it will be the Vikings' ball, last touched by Brex Todd. Ensminger has it on the right side. Gets it over high, wide, and left to Albright. Albright back over to Ensminger on the right. Kicks it down into the right corner to Charlo. Back out to the right elbow to Ensminger. Loses the handle, and here comes the Mounders. Russo with the layup. 29-4.
Caden Russo with 16 points already.
Ensminger on the right. Down into the right corner to Charlo. Back out high to Albright. Back over to Ensminger. Takes the three, and he hit the three. Elijah Ensminger with the three-pointer. 29-7. Mounders have it. Bartig with it. Feeds it over to the left side to Todd. Now cross-court pass over to Russo. Back out to Bartig. To Todd. Down to the baseline to Delikowski. Going up with the shot is Wenzel, and he's going to get fouled.
We'll see if they get Hajdukovic.
They did. That's Hajdukovic's first personal, fourth team foul on the Vikings. Wenzel's free throw is good. Sikora back into the lineup. He also comes in with Kyle Irwin for the Vikings. Second shot is good. And Austin Swanson coming in for the Vikings.
That's 8 points for Wenzel so far.
Swanson replacing Jensen. Sikora has it, gets it to Irwin. Quickly across the timeline. Irwin takes it into the lane, lays it up, no good. Swanson with the rebound, puts it up and in. Austin Swanson with the putback. 31-9.
Full court press by Colfax.
Delikowski with it, gets it over to Bartig. Over to Russo on the right. Down into the right corner to Wenzel. Double teamed. He's in a lot of pressure. Ball gets out to Delikowski, who tips it back over to Russo, to Bartig between the circles. Bartig over to the left side to Todd. Cross-court pass over to Bartig. Tries the right baseline, puts it up, it's no good. The ball goes out of bounds, and before it hit out of bounds, it went off Bartig, and it's going to be Viking ball. Vikings come down the floor. Albright with it. Gets it over to Sikora. Sikora's high, wide, and left. Down into the right corner to Irwin. Feeds it underneath to Charlo. Back out to the right side. Three-pointer on the way, and good by Sikora.
He's got 5.
Elk Mound bringing it down the floor. Todd has it, gets it over to Bartholomew. Then up to Delikowski. And over to Johnson, back out to Bartholomew. To Delikowski at the free throw line. Turns, takes it into the lane. He got fouled going in. The foul's going to be on Charlo.
Foul's going to be on Swanson.
You're right. Austin Swanson with his first. 15th foul. Jerome Delikowski. First shot is up and no good. 6'2" junior. Second shot on the way, rolls around and off. Albright with the rebound, gets it to Sikora. Back over to Albright, takes it across the timeline. Stops on the right side, tries to make a pass that gets stolen by Todd, and the ball gets tipped out of bounds. Last touched by the Mounders.
Yeah, we had Aiden Bartholomew on transition, got tripped up. Elk Mound.
So the Vikings bring it down the floor. Hajdukovic over to Sikora. Back to Hajdukovic. He's high, wide, and right. Back over to Sikora on the left. And we've got a whistle and
something away from the ball. Not for sure what it was, though. Well, he's saying it's a push. But it's on
Elk Mound.
Oh.
The foul is on Delikowski, his first, third team foul on the Mounders. Pass gets fed into Swanson, but it's taken away by Delikowski. Gets it to Bartholomew, takes it across the timeline, feeds it down to the left corner, into the lane to Delikowski, who lays it up and in. 33-12. Vikings come down the floor. Hajdukovic gets it to Charlo. Then out on the left side, that Sikora puts a shot up and in. Ball gets stolen by Hajdukovic. Gets it to Sikora, back over to Hajdukovic, down in the left corner. Gets it underneath to Swanson, who lays it up and in.
Elk Mound forgot about Swanson on the baseline.
33-16. Mounders come down the floor. Into the forecourt. Johnson with it, feeds it down into the corner. Wenzel with it, he's trapped down there. Vikings tap it loose. Delikowski picks it up, puts it up, no good. Rebound, we got a foul.
Late whistle. But it's on the floor, I think. It's not a shot.
Yeah, it's on the attempted rebound.
Oh.
Fouls on Charlo. That's his second personal. 16 foul on the Vikings. Lenz coming in for Swanson. Mounders will be in the bonus after they inbound the ball. Bartig gets it in. They get it out high to Russo. Down to the left corner. Bartig puts up the three. No good. Ball gets tapped out of bounds. Last touch by Wenzel. It'll be Vikings ball.
Yeah, that was better box out by Colfax there. Good job by Nick Jensen.
Down the floor comes Sikora. Gets it over to Hajdukovic. Back over to Sikora, high, wide, and right. Down into the right corner to Ensminger. Ensminger brings it back out high, still on the right side. Feeds it to the right wing, and ball gets tapped out of bounds off the hands of Lenz.
Yeah, tight squeeze into Lenz. Couldn't handle it.
Russo inbounds it. They get it to Wenzel. To Bartig. Bartig brings it across the timeline. Feeds it over to the left side to Russo. To Wenzel at the left elbow. Feeds it over to the right corner, then down to the right baseline. Johnson trying to go up with it, and he does. And he makes it count. 35-16. Vikings feed it down to the right side. Ensminger puts a shot up. It's no good. Jensen steals the rebound, but the Mounders get it back and then throw it away.
More great defense by number 42, Nick Jensen.
Vikings will have it. Sikora inbound. Gets it to Hajdukovic. Sikora high, wide, and left. Back over to Hajdukovic on the right. Down into the right corner to Ensminger. Drives towards the lane, kicks it back out high to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic takes it down the right side of the lane to Ensminger. Cross court pass to Sikora. Sikora tries to drive into the lane, and he got fouled. And the foul is going to be on Bartholomew. It's his second personal, fourth team foul. Sikora to inbound. Gets it out to Ensminger between the circles. Over to Hajdukovic on the left. Hajdukovic pulls up his dribble. Gets it over to Lenz on the right. Down into the right corner to Ensminger. Feeds it into the lane to Jensen. Jensen puts up, missed the layup. And down the floor come the Mounders. They feed it down underneath. Shot goes up. It's no good by Johnson. Jensen with the rebound. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul called on Bartholomew.
Yeah, that's
his third. What were you saying, Dan?
That'll be his third. He'll have to come out.
And it's also the fifth foul on the Mounders. 3:28 to go in the first half. Ball comes out high between the circles to Hajdukovic. Down into the left corner. It's Sikora. He's got it high, wide, and left now. Back over to Hajdukovic. Feeds it to the lane to Jensen. Kicks it back out to Sikora. Puts up the three. No good. Rebound taken down by Russo. Down the floor comes Johnson. He feeds it down into the corner. Now to Russo on the left side. Three-pointer is going up. It's no good. Rebound tapped out of bounds. Last touch by the Vikings.
Colfax has to make sure that they cover that baseline. Elk Mound's getting inside.
Bartig to inbound. Gets it out to Johnson. On the left side, back to Bartig. Feeds it to Wenzel at the free throw line. Gets it out to Russo on the right. Back over to Bartig on the left. Bartig drives to just inside the arc. Feeds it on the left side to Johnson. And the pass back to Bartig is tapped out of bounds. Ensminger, the last one to touch it. So Johnson to inbound for the Mounders. Russo goes into the backcourt, takes the ball.
Elk Mound's going to play, Colfax is going to play zone.
Bartig with it, feeds it to Russo from the corner, puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. They get it out, and a three-pointer on the way is no good. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Vikings. Or last touch by the Mounders, I should say. Vikings have the ball. Albright into the lineup, replacing Lenz. Sikora gets it over to Hajdukovic, feeds it down to the left, or to the right wing to Jensen. They feed it to Albright on the left side, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken away by the Mounders. Bartig on it, stops, gets it down into the left corner. Three-pointer on the way, no good. We have a whistle and a foul. Foul's going to be on Nick Jensen. It's his first personal. And that's going to put Wenzel at the line for the 1-and-1. First shot is up. It's no good. Rebound chased down by the Vikings. Sikora gets it to Hajdukovic quickly into the forecourt, down into the right corner to Ensminger. Back out to Hajdukovic. Over to the left side to Sikora. Back to Hajdukovic on the right. Down into the left corner to Albright. To Sikora. Tries to feed it into the lane. Ball got there before Jensen did. And the Mounders come down the floor. Russo with a three-pointer from the left wing is no good. Put back up by Wenzel. It's no good. Vikings come away with it. Ensminger down the floor. Minute 25 to go. Takes it towards the lane. Got his pocket picked and down the floor come the Mounders. Russo missed the layup. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul.
Could be on Brex Todd.
I believe you're right.
Oh, there goes our clock.
Oh, my goodness. Well, still working at the other end.
We got it back now.
Well, I believe the foul was on Brex Todd. It is. It's a second personal, sixth team foul, so both teams are now in the bonus. Hajdukovic with it. Gets it over to Sikora, to Albright. These are on the left side. Sikora takes it in the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound, knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Delikowski. So it'll be the Vikings' ball. Under a minute to go. Ball comes into Hajdukovic. He's at the top of the key. Gets it over to the left side. They've got Albright with it. Back out to Hajdukovic. Drives down the right side of the lane. Puts up the shot. No good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. Bartig with it across the timeline. Gets it over to the right side to Johnson. Johnson over to Russo. Russo puts up the three. No good. Delikowski with the rebound, and he went out of bounds. Now we're going to get a foul. Evidently he was pushed out of bounds. Foul's on Albright. It's his second personal. 8th team foul on the Vikings.
Albrecht pleading his case.
Delikowski at the line. First shot is up. It's good. 36-16. Coming up at halftime, we have a Viking profile, Elijah Ensmingers, who we're going to see today. Second shot is up and good. And we also have the Colfax High School report. That's all coming up today at halftime. 37-16, 30 seconds to go in the first half. Hajdukovic with it, gets it down to Irwin. Cross-court pass. Over to Sikora, down to Albright in the left corner. Kicks it out to Hajdukovic. Takes it to the elbow, loses the handle. And down the floor come the Mounders. Bartig with it. Feeds it over to the right side to Johnson, back to Bartig. High, wide, and right to Johnson. Johnson back out to Bartig. Over to Russo, three-pointer on the way, no good! And it's halftime with the score. Elk Mound Mounders 37, Vikings 16. We have Viking halftime coming up right after this.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's edition of Viking Profile and the Colfax High School Report. That's all coming up following this brief timeout.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Elijah Ensminger. And Elijah, what year are you here at Colfax?
I'm a sophomore here.
Now, we know that you play basketball, but are there any other school activities that you're involved with?
Yeah, I do football.
Okay. And you had a struggle season this year, but you had some good moments as well.
Yeah, we definitely struggled this year.
Well, we'll get that turned around in basketball, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay. So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of experience has that been for you?
I started probably ever since I was a little kid, and it's been a great experience, been able to get in the gym, nothing but good things.
So what's the most important thing that you've learned from playing basketball?
Definitely teamwork and leadership for that.
So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you occupied or interested?
I like to spend time with family. Big family guy.
Okay, now here's a few rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
Favorite flavor?
Cotton candy.
Oh boy, cotton candy, okay. Your favorite color and why?
Blue. I think I don't know. I just wear it the most, I think.
Okay, all right. Now, if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Probably flying so I can get anywhere I want without, traffic or anything,
Okay, sounds like a good idea to me. Now, if you have a superpower like that, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with it. So what's Elijah's superhero name?
I don't even know. I have to think about that one.
Okay, something like Airborne Elijah, but who knows what, right?
Yeah.
All right. Favorite NBA or WNBA team?
The Bucks.
Okay, and it'd be hard not to be after last year, right? Favorite collegiate team?
Wisconsin, the Badgers.
Okay, we're talking with Elijah Ensminger on Viking Profile. And Elijah, what are your plans for after high school?
Either if I can play basketball, that would be great, but either a 4-year or CVTC I'm looking into.
Okay, any idea what you want to go into?
No, not right now.
And you got plenty of time to figure all that out. How about a shout out to the family?
I'd like to thank my grandma, Nana, and my mom, Jess. Thanks, guys.
Okay, and when people watch Viking basketball games, where on the floor are they going to find Elijah Ensminger?
Hopefully right on right in the center playing.
Okay. All right. Say, we want to thank Elijah Ensminger for joining us today on Viking Profile. We have more Viking Halftime coming up right after this.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Time now for the Colfax High School Report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School.
The Colfax Vikings athletics were brought to nearly a complete stop last week as COVID-19 reared its ugly head. The virus forced cancellation of one boys basketball game and the postponement of one other boys game and two girls games. The only team in action last week, once the virus hit, was the Bloomer Colfax Raptors wrestling team. On Tuesday the 11th, the Raptors hosted the Stanley Boyd Orioles in a dual meet. The Raptors strung together pins by Luke Blanchard, Bowen Rothbauer, Ethan Rubenzer, and James McElroy en route to a 46-24 victory. Then on Saturday, the Raptors traveled to Ladysmith to wrestle in the Ladysmith Invitational. At 120 pounds, Bryson Tuchel placed 8th place. Alex Poyer took 3rd at 145 pounds. At 152 pounds, Luke Blanchard won the championship with a 5-2 decision over Tommy Quinn from Cameron. Then at 160 pounds, Bowen Rothbauer followed suit by capturing the championship by pinning Josh Simon from Cumberland at 3 minutes and 34 seconds. At 170 pounds, Ethan Rubenzer took 4th place, while Ethan Nitek captured 6th at 182 pounds. Wrapping up the action for the Raptors was Brock McCann, who placed 5th at 195 pounds. The Bloomer Colfax Raptors placed 6th out of 19 teams at the Invitational. Now, prior to the virus striking, the Viking boys took on and defeated the Elevestrom Cardinals 80-49. That leaves the boys with an overall record of 5 wins and 5 losses, and a Dunn St. Croix Conference record of 2 wins and 2 losses. The boys were scheduled to play Spring Valley on Thursday as well as Somerset on Friday. However, COVID had other ideas. The game with Somerset has been canceled and will not be made up, but the game with Spring Valley will be made up on Tuesday, January 25th. The Viking girls were scheduled to take on the Elk Mound Mounders on Tuesday and the Plum City Elmwood Wolves on Friday. Both games were postponed and will be made up, with the game at Elk Mound on January 22nd and the game in Plum City on February 14th. This week, the Viking basketball teams get back to a busy schedule with 4 games total. The Viking boys start the week by hosting the Elk Mound Mounders on Tuesday. Then on Friday, they will travel to Elmwood to take on the Plum City Elmwood Wolves. We will have both games live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. The Viking girls will play 2 games. They will begin their week by hosting the Glenwood City Hilltoppers on Thursday, and then on Saturday they will travel to Elk Mound to make up the game with the Elk Mound Mounders. This will be a battle of the 2 teams sitting on top of the Dunn St. Croix Conference. We are carrying both games live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. The Bloomer Colfax wrestlers have 2 events this week. On Thursday, the Raptors will take on the Cadott Hornets in a dual meet at Cadott High School. Then on Saturday the 22nd, the Grapplers will travel to Shell Lake for the Shell Lake Invite. Now, coming up next week, the Bloomer Colfax wrestlers will travel to Abbotsford for a dual meet as they prepare for the conference meet coming up in a couple of weeks. The Viking boys basketball team will have 2 games next week. On Tuesday the 25th, they will make up their postponed game with Spring Valley, and on Thursday the 27th, they will host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. The Viking girls are also scheduled for 2 games next week. On Tuesday the 25th, the girls will travel to Mondovi to take on the Mondovi Buffaloes, and then on Friday the 28th, the girls will travel to Durand to take on the Durand Panthers. We will carry those games on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. In other school news, students will be released from school at 12:30 on Friday for teacher in service. There will also be no morning or afternoon junior kindergarten. Friday is also the final day of the second quarter and the first semester. And that's what's happening at Colfax High School for the week of January 16th.
You've been tuned to the Colfax High School Report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is second half action.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
On those days when you're hankering for something that's delicious and nutritious, simply stop by FitFam Nutrition in Colfax. They serve Herbalife meal replacement shakes, metabolism boosting teas and protein coffees. They taste as good as they sound, and they're healthy. Come and visit the Bentons and let them prepare for you a simply sweet treat, or something for the chocoholic or coffee lover in you. FitFam is a slam dunk. That's FitFam Nutrition, complete with one-on-one wellness coaching and business opportunities. 1020 University Avenue in Colfax.
And they got going a little quicker than we expected. Vikings put up a shot and missed it. Mounders have the ball. Mounders ahead 37-16, just underway in the second half. Bartig has it in the left or in the right corner. Pass gets stolen by Ensminger, takes it down the right side. Tries to feed it underneath, but took an extra step to get rid of the ball.
Tried to get away with the toe drag.
So the Mounders have it. Todd feeds it across to Russo. Into the lane to Wenzel, puts the shot up and in. And Vikings quickly right back down the floor. 39-16. Vikings trailing. Ensminger down to the right baseline, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. Johnson with it, gets it over to Bartig on the right side. Guarded closely there, in fact double teamed now, but he gets it down to the baseline to Johnson, puts the shot up off the glass and in. 41-16. Hajdukovic gets it down into the left corner to Albright. To Ensminger on the right side, back over to Albright, three-pointer from the corner, rattles around and out, and here comes Elk Mound down the floor. They get it off to the left side, feed it down to the baseline, putting it up and no good. Rebound, fought for, picked up by the Mounders. They get it to Wenzel in the lane, he loses the handle, goes out of bounds, but last touch by the Vikings.
Yeah, I don't like seeing hands on hips for Colfax already. We're only just not even 2 minutes in. 3 minutes in.
Yeah, as we were talking at halftime, shot goes up by Wenzel and it's no good. Vikings come down with it. But the Vikings are showing some of the ill effects of being off for such a long time due to COVID. A little bit of rust they have to get off. Hajdukovic with the three is no good. Lenz with the rebound. Feeds it down to the baseline to Charlo, puts it up, it's no good. But he got fouled on the way up. Foul is going to be on Johnson. It's his first team foul on the Mounders. Charlo shot off the rim, no good. Second shot is up. It also hits the rim. And the Mounders come down the floor. They get it out to Russo. Three-pointer rattles around and off. Lenz with it. Gets it over to Sikora. Feeds it off to the left side to Charlo. Puts the shot up, no good. It goes over the back of the backboard.
Yeah, what I'm seeing is they're starting to shoot with their arms and not legs. So their shots are just not getting to the hoop.
And they're only off by a little bit. It's that rust.
Right.
Down the floor come the Mounders. Todd with it. Tries to feed it into the lane. Ball gets knocked loose, but the Mounders pick it up. Bartig puts up a three, and he hit it. Hajdukovic across the timeline. Stops out at the top of the key. Gets it over to Sikora. Back to Hajdukovic. Down into the corner to Albright. Back out to Hajdukovic. Puts up the jumper from inside the arc. No good. Rebound gets tapped. It goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Elk Mound ball. Mounders have it. Bartig gets the pass across over to Russo, to Johnson. Back up to Wenzel at the center circle. Takes it across the timeline. Over to Bartig, high, wide, and right. Down into the right corner to Todd. Back out high to Russo. Russo over to the left side. Shot is up, no good by Johnson. Rebound being fought for, and we're going to get a jump ball called.
Yeah, good job by Tristan Lenz to keep playing.
Kind of finished that off with I've had enough of this grab of the ball, but by that time they had already tied it up for the jump ball.
Yeah, you can see the frustration in Colfax. You know, they're there, they're trying hard, doing what they can, and it just won't fall.
Mounders to inbound. They get it out high to Johnson between the circles. Feeds it to Wenzel at the free throw line. Back out to Johnson, top of the key. Over to Russo on the right. Back over to Todd, and the pass gets taken away. Down the floor comes Sikora, and he puts it in.
See if that jump starts him.
That's 9 points for Sikora tonight. Mounders down the floor, feeding it into the forecourt to Wenzel. Back over to Bartig. They're on the left side. To Todd, then down at the baseline. Pass gets knocked away, and the Vikings have it. Lenz brings it across the timeline. To Albright, high, wide, and left. Takes it to the top of the key. Gets it out to Sikora on the right side. Back over to Albright on the left. Drives to the free throw line. Gets it over to Lenz. He puts a shot up and in. Tristan Lenz with a shot from the paint. 44-20. Mounders have it. They bring it down the floor. They get it to Wenzel. Wenzel to Johnson between the circles. Over to Bartig on the right, down into the corner to Todd. Todd double team. Tries to feed it into the lane. Ball gets taken away by the Vikings. Here comes Sikora, and his shot gets blocked. And down the floor come the Mounders. Down into the left corner to Todd. They get it underneath to Johnson. Out to Russo. Johnson has it on the baseline.
Top of the key.
Russo hit the three. And we have a timeout on the floor. 12:42 remaining in the game. 47-20, Mounders on top, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV, and Viking TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Back here at Colfax High School, Vikings will have the ball. Sikora with it. Back over to Albright, back to Sikora. Back to Albright. They have it the forecourt. Albright with it on the right side, feeding it underneath, and it gets knocked out of bounds, and it's off the Vikings. Bartholomew into the lineup for Johnson for the Mounders. Mounders inbound it. Bartig with it. Gets it to Delikowski. Then over to Bartholomew, to Bartig. Bartig takes it out between the circles. Over to Russo on the left side, down underneath to Bartholomew, to Delikowski, who lays it up off the glass and in. Albright with it for the Vikings. Feeds it over to Shiloh, and we have a blocking foul underneath. That's going to be a foul on Bartig. No, I take it back. Foul's on Delikowski. It's his second. Second team foul on the Mounders. Albright with it for the Vikings to inbound it. Gets it way out high to Ensminger. Ensminger over to the left side, and an errant pass intended for Albright goes out of bounds. 49-20. Russo gets it over to Bartig, who takes it between the circles, over to the left side. Then back over to Russo on the right. Three-pointers goes up. No good. Rebound taken down by Swanson. They get it over to Charlo. Charlo feeds it down into the left corner. This is Ensminger. Out high to Albright. Back over to Ensminger on the left side. Ensminger out to Albright on the right. To Ensminger on the left. Bounce pass out to Albright. It's kind of between the circles now. Takes a couple dribbles, feeds it over to Ensminger, three-pointer, up no good. Rebound tipped, it goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Viking ball. Official got a little bit of help over there because he went out of bounds right in front of the Viking girls team, and they all pointed Viking ball. Speaking of which, we'll have them on Thursday night as they host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Tristan Lenz with it on the left baseline. Kicks it back out. Albright tries to get back to Lenz, and it gets stolen by the Mounders. Russo has it. He's between the circles, gets it over to the left side to Bartholomew. Down into the corner. Shot goes up, no good. That was a shot by Todd. Lenz with it. High widen left. Gets it to Ensminger on the left wing. He takes it out between the circles. Over to Albright on the right.
Mismatch inside.
Ensminger on the left side. Tries to feed it into Charlo. Ball got tipped away. Russo takes it down the floor, lays it up and in. He thought about slamming it through.
Yeah, Ensminger right on his heels, though.
Vikings pass it to Charlo, and he tried to pass it out to Ensminger. Ball got taken down, and we're going to get a charging foul called on Russo. Ensminger beat him down there, planted his feet, and Russo ran him over.
Elk Mound fans don't like that call.
Down the floor come the Vikings. Sikora with it on the left, takes it to the top of the key. Over to Hajdukovic on the right. Lost the handle, gets it back out to score between the circles. To Lenz from the left corner, three-pointer on the way is no good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. Bartholomew across the timeline. Feeds it down underneath, and we're going to get the basket to count. And the foul is going to be on Lenz. I'll be honest with you, I thought he fouled him before he went up with the shot.
Is that Lenz's first?
Yes, that's his first.
Nope.
First team foul on the Vikings. Free throw is no good. Rebound. Picked up by Charlo. Feeds it over to Hajdukovic. Back out to Albright. Albright in the lane, ran into some traffic. And down the floor come the Mounders. Viking fans getting a little upset behind us. They feed it underneath to Delikowski, and we have a timeout being called. 55-20, Mounders on top, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Simplify your life. Pleasant Valley Properties provides affordable housing and homes in communities in Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. They have staff available to help you locate the home that best meets your needs and desires, as well as service staff that maintains the properties. Contact Pleasant Valley Properties at 715-226-6200. Call today and let them help you get into the home of your dreams. That's Pleasant Valley Properties, 301 Grammar Avenue in Colfax.
Back at Colfax High School, and if I'm not mistaken, we probably will go into running time here because it's 35-point lead, under 9 minutes, 40-point lead. Jeff is telling me 40-point lead, so we're close to running time. Between the circles, Ensminger, and he got the ball taken away from him, and down the floor come the Mounders. Bartholomew with it, over into the right corner. That's Johnson, back out high to Bartholomew. Takes it between the circles, gets it over to the left side. This is Brex Todd to Johnson, to Delikowski, to Wenzel, to Bartholomew in the lane, tries to put it up. Can't get it up. Ball comes out to Todd. Ball got taken away, but we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Hajdukovic.
Nate tried to get the steal, caught the arm.
Ball gets inbounded to Todd, over to Bartholomew, back to Todd, down into the right corner to Johnson, drives the baseline, puts the shot up, it's no good. Rebound, and it went off of Jensen's knee and out of bounds.
Yeah, good job by Nick Jensen to get over there.
He did a nice job of getting position. It's just that his knee didn't cooperate with his arms and knocked the ball out of his hands and out of bounds. So the Mounders have it. Delikowski has it, but his pass gets intercepted by Charlo. Gets it to Hajdukovic, and he got fouled on the way up. And the foul is going to be on Brex Todd. That's his third personal, fourth team foul on the Mounders. Nathan Hajdukovic. First shot is up off the back of the iron. 6'2" senior. Next shot is up. It's also off the back of the iron. Mounders get the rebound. Delikowski doing a nice job of getting positioning under the basket. Gets it to Bartholomew, who takes it to the left side underneath to Delikowski, and he puts it up and in. 57-20. Jensen with a three-pointer off the iron, no good. Rebound tapped out to the Mounders. 20-4 is the score in the second half. So Mounders on a 20-4 run, and they had a big lead at the end of the first half. Ball gets passed to Wenzel. He came down on the baseline, and it'll be Viking ball. Vikings just not getting shots to drop. Hajdukovic with it. Between the circles. Gets it to Ensminger. Ensminger waiting. He takes it down the right side of the lane. Tries to put it up. Ball gets blocked out of bounds. So the Vikings will inbound it. To Jensen, puts a shot up, it's no good. Delikowski with the rebound for the Mounders. To Bartholomew, down into the corner. Johnson feeds it out to Todd, then they get it over to Bartholomew on the right side, puts a shot up and in. 59-20. Hajdukovic to Lenz on the right side. Tries to get it back to Hajdukovic, and the Mounders come away with the ball. They get it down to the right side to Johnson. Over to the left side to Bartholomew, spins in the lane, puts a shot up, it's no good. Rebound. Taken down by Hajdukovic. Vikings bring it down the floor. Ball gets tapped away, and we get a whistle and a foul. That's going to be a foul on Hajdukovic for a reach. Be the third foul on the Vikings. Third foul on Hajdukovic.
We'll see how long Coach No keeps his guys in. I mean, you kind of want him to kind of get in rhythm again.
Pass underneath. Delikowski, he was wide open and lays it in. 61-20. Vikings have it in the forecourt. Irwin with it. Feeds it over to Jensen. Jensen into the lane. Gets it back out to Sequoia.
Sequoia?
Yeah, Sakura. And we are in running time. Mounders getting some other bodies in. Will King into the lineup. Also Terry Mercer for the Mounders. Bartholomew over to King. Feeds it out to Bartholomew. Over to Mercer. Underneath to Delikowski. So Sikora is going to bring it down for the Vikings. They feed it over to Albright. High, wide, and right. And he got his pocket picked by Bartholomew. Ball gets knocked loose. Bartholomew picks it up. Over to King on the right. Drives into the lane. Puts a shot up, and it's in. Will King with the shot.
His first 2 points.
4 minutes to go. Irwin with it. Takes it to the free throw line. Now down the right side. Back out to Sikora. He goes up and got a foul. Bryce Sikora going to the line.
Ethan Johnson with foul for Elk Mound.
That's his second personal. Shot goes up, it's no good. It's the 5th team foul on the Mounders. Couple more fresh bodies coming in. Nathan Svee. And looks like Cameron Diermeyer. Second shot was no good. Rebound chased down by the Vikings. Sikora with it to Jensen, drives into the lane, puts a shot up, it's good. 63-22. Mounders on top. Svi with it. He gets it over to Mercer. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound chased down, picked up by King. Ball gets knocked out of bounds off the Vikings. Inbounding the ball is Brady Amble. He gets it into Svi. Brings it across the timeline. Over onto the right side to King. King gets it out high to Amble, puts the shot up, no good. Vikings come away with it. Sikora puts the shot up, they're saying no shot. He got fouled before the shot. Vikings are going to do a hockey line change here. 5 in, 5 out.
One, two,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somebody's got to take Swanson. There he goes. He just wanted to be the goalie.
I was going to say, must be a power play.
Vikings have it. This is Johnson. They get it out to Medine, puts up the 3, no good. Gets his own rebound. Mitch Medine puts the next shot up, no good. Rebound, chased down by Nigaman. Nigaman with it. Spins, puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. Feeding it down into the corner. And they get it out high to Svi. Then over to Mercer. Now they've got it over on the right side to Amble. And then down in the corner to King. Out to Mercer. Under a minute to go. They've got it on the left side to King. Underneath the Svi, puts the shot up and in. And the Vikings come down the floor. 65-22. Spinning was Johnson. He got fouled. Johnson goes to the line.
Brady Amble, I do believe, on the foul.
Yes, it is. His first. Johnson's shot is up. Off the air, no good. Svi gets the rebound. 17 seconds remaining. They get it over to the left side. 10 seconds to go. They're pulling it out high now. Amble with it. Just dribbling. 5 seconds. Nobody's going to challenge. Gives the ball to the official as the time runs out. And the final score. The Elk Mound Mounders kind of took it to the Vikings tonight. 65-30, or to 22. I don't know what I was looking at there. 65-22. And we will have Viking postgame coming up right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
When you've checked that hayfield and find it's time to harvest, give a call to Aaron's Custom Baling. Aaron will provide you with 4x5 net-wrapped round bales. He can even give your bales that spruced up look with select custom netting if you'd like. Serving Western Wisconsin, that's Aaron's Custom Baling. Call 715-202-0118.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Boys Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
Time now for Viking postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking boys game. And now, Viking postgame.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, Jeff Gus on the camera, and we're joined by Coach Prince. Hey, Vikings took one on the chin today, 65-22. I think we can probably chalk this up to COVID rust.
Yeah, we could. This was a good, I thought, a good test for us. I thought we were really starting to hit our stride, before last week or during last week, coming off of 3 wins and then playing Elk Mound, a big rival. And I thought this I'm sure everybody thought it was a good test too, but yeah. Yeah,
you were gonna have a real test right after you had that big win over Oliva Strum. A couple days later, you were going to be taking on Spring Valley, and it was right in there that COVID hit the school, and both the boys program and the girls program got shut down for the remainder of the week. 4 games were affected, and you alluded to it before we got back on the air here. It's not like a vacation. You don't get to have regular practices. No. What was that like for you guys?
I know there was just a handful of kids that showed up for practice that could, and so and what we do for those practices is you can't scrimmage really. You can't do any 5-on-5 stuff, and it's being that our games got canceled. We could have had, if we didn't have the COVID issue, we could have had 3 total days to prepare for Elk Mound rather than just 1, and it's tough times right now, and everybody's got to go through it. Elk Mound, you never know, they could be having the same problem next week. Hopefully they don't, but. And
the things that look to me that it was a COVID issue is, what I refer to as COVID rust is you could see the Vikings' legs weren't there in the second half. The shots were just a little off. For the most part, they were taking decent shots. They just weren't hitting them.
Right. Yeah, and that's what we kind of talked about at halftime too. Is being that the great team that Elk Mound was, they've always got shooters. It seems like, and they
were
a
tough team this
year.
Oh,
very tough.
You hit a Mounder team that's in full stride, and you're coming limping in.
Yeah, it's tough when your guys kind of have a run like we did last week and the week before, and like you said, beating Oliva Strum like we did, and then playing Elk Mound, and give credit to them. Give credit where credit's due. Kessler, he does a great job with those kids, and Elk Mound's always got a great program, and I would like to say that. We're always the better team, but I don't know if I can, say that tonight. I wish I could. But.
At this given time, at this given place, it probably wasn't the case.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to, show up tomorrow with a positive attitude and head held high, and we just got to move on. So.
Yeah, what was it, about 5 minutes ago the game ended?
Yep.
That's ancient history.
Yep.
It's time to turn the focus to Plum City Elmwood. That's going to happen on Friday. It doesn't get much easier. They're a pretty decent team too.
Yep. Yeah, they've got I can't remember his name, the tall kid, but he'll
we'll know it when we see him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yep. And so we'll prepare for them, and we got 2 days to do it, and hopefully end the week on a good note, going to the weekend with a win. So,
well. Okay, let's focus on Plum City Elmwood, and somebody told me you guys played a game tonight, and I have no idea what happened in that one, right?
Yeah.
We'll take it that way.
Yep.
We have some more Viking post-game coming up right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking Post-Game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
When I was in foster care,
how many guys
that's not the right
when I would have
right
to
now?
move. So I always had
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV by calling 715-563-1749.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Thursday, January 20th when the Vikings host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:55 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Thursday, January 20th.
Back here at Colfax High School, Viking post game. Vikings take one on the chin to the Elk Mound Mounders, 65-22. Dan, you've got the numbers for us. Why don't you tell us how we got there?
Here's the scores tonight for Elk Mound. They were led by number 1 Caden Russo with 21 points, followed by Sam Wenzel with 12. We had Jerome Delikowski with 12. We had Aiden Bartholomew with 5. We had Ethan Johnson and Brex Todd with 4. We had Ryan Bartik with 3. And we had Will King and Nathan Savi with 2 for the Colfax Vikings. I even hate to even do this. Their leading scorer tonight was number 4 Bryce Sikora with 9 points, followed by Austin Swanson with 4. We had Elijah Jensminger with 3. And then we had Nate Hajdukovic, Tristan Lenz, and Nick Jensen with 2.
Okay, and that makes, I mean, if you only have 22 points, you're not going to have a whole lot of scorers, and almost half of those came by Bryce Sikora.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I really felt sorry for those kids because they were really on a roll. Felt good. It took them a while to get in their rhythm in the first half of the season, and they just get hammered.
Yeah, and through, I want to say no fault of their own, they caught the virus, and it waylaid them, and you could see the signs of it on their play on the floor, and hopefully they'll have some time to get things back together. Elma Plum City's no slouch, and they're going to have to be ready to bring their A game for that one.
Yeah, we'll see what they can get figured out here in the next 2 days.
So I want to remind you to join us here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. That's on Friday night as the Viking boys take on the Plum City Elmwood Wolves in a Dunn St. Croix conference game. And our live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:55. That'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax boys basketball Friday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Even before that, however, we have Thursday night as the Viking girls host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers in a Dunn St. Croix conference game. And the girls are kind of in the same situation the boys were. They had last week sidelined as a result of COVID as well. So our live coverage of that Glenwood City Hilltoppers game will be with Viking pregame beginning at 6:55, followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls basketball Thursday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Also, don't forget the Bloomer Colfax wrestling team, the Raptors, will be in action Thursday night when they travel to Cadott to take on the Cadott Hornets in a dual meet. I would also like to remind you that tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital, Dairy State Bank, Anderson Bridges, Slayton's Technology, Pleasant Valley Properties, Aaron's Custom Baling, Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, and Kyle's Buff and Shine. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. This is Rick Olson for Dan Petchow and Jeff Gust, reminding you once again, and I wish it were better news, Elk Mound 65 and the Vikings 22. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.